Hi, this is my first speed paint and my first time really doing a voiceover for anything. Sorry if I sound a bit nervous. I am. So I wanted to try my hand at making a voiceover for something that I drew. There will be no comments about my voice, pretty please. So I decided to do a Warrior Cats design challenge, designing characters from the first arc. I have some designs for a few of these guys, but they're kind of old, so most of these are either brand new designs or editing of old designs. Here's the line art for Firestar, which gave me a lot of trouble. Mostly with his eyes. I had a lot of trouble trying to get him to look at Gray Stripe, who's next to him, because they're boyfriends. But Gay Stripe over here, I tried to make him very round and make his fur kind of flowy. I think it's in the New Prophecy, when Mouse Fur, I think, talks about how he eats a lot. And that kind of stuck with me, so in my mind he's kind of this big, comedic relief chubby guy, but, I think he's fine, you know, just trying to make him very large. I like to make, Firestar be the shortest out of the original trio, just because I find it kind of funny. Ravenpaw, I like Ravenpaw. I try to make him have this kind of longer, flowy fur, and have these very big ears, because I think it makes him look kind of silly, and I think it suits him, makes him look a bit more nervous. His pose actually gave me a lot of trouble. I wanted to give him a bandana at one point, or a little scarf or something, but I couldn't really get it to fit with this kind of, nervous pose I have him in. His fur, mostly the back of his neck gave me trouble. But I gave him this kind of timid pose with his tail up. You know, he's very nervous. He's a very anxious guy. Tigerstar, who I drew more as Tiger Claw here, he's supposed to be talking with Spottedleaf, kind of like in the first book, when, you know, she says, you wouldn't challenge a medicine cat, Tiger Claw, and he was like, I'd never challenge you, dear Spottedleaf. After he just killed her brother, which I always found to be kind of a funny scene looking back. But, he's kind of nervous looking away while she's just happily chatting to him, which I found funny. I don't know why there's a very long pause here. I like to make the cheek fluff he has kind of square, sort of, because that's more how I draw Brambleclaw's fur, which you might see a bit of later. But I just think it's neat and draws a connection between the two of them. Tigerstar, I'll talk more about my thoughts on the characters with the coloring, but he gives me a bit of trouble when designing, honestly. But I'm happy with how this line art turned out. Spottedleaf, I try to make very round, and I like to give her kind of a heart motif with her design. So the little heart eyelashes, the eyebrows. Here I go back and change Ravenpaw's eye. But Spottedleaf, I like to make her very flowy, very round. I just like making her very round. I like making the characters that are seen as very beautiful as kind of round. I just think it's a fun thing to do. I also like to give her little maple leaves behind her because it kind of fits her color palette while still, drawing back to being a medicine cat, which I think is neat. I just like adding little details like that. Bluestar, I try to give her a sort of elegance to her. I give her very long, or not very long, but I give her a longer snout, this big kind of mane of sorts, which is also on Firestar. But I mean, you know, I make her eyes a little bit different. Her pose gave me a lot of trouble. Oh, here I'm debating whether to make him Tigerstar, but I decided just to go for Tiger Claw. Bluestar, her line art wasn't that bad, but sketching her gave me some trouble. Here I'm just coloring in to use a clipping layer later. Of course I chose orange and blue. I feel like if you give a Portal fan the choice to pick two colors ever, it's going to be orange and blue. So here you can actually see my Firestar design up in the reference corner. It's not actually that old. It's from a month or so ago, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Couple months maybe. I like Firestar as a character. I think he's fine. I don't have strong opinions on him, but whenever I remember him, I mostly just think about Sandstorm, to be honest. A lot of the things that I like about Firestar are things that I like about Sandstorm and Firestar. I forget where it's said, but somewhere in the books they say that Firestar and Sandstorm sneak out of camp to go on little walks at night, which I think is very cute, and I really like that. You'll see me mess with it later, but on the back of his mane, like on his neck, I played with a sort of fire design there for him. I tried to base him off of a real-life species of cat that I am blanking on the name of, but I'll put it on screen here. The little muzzle spot I give him, I don't remember who it was, but I saw someone giving little muzzle spots to Firestar's family, and I thought that it was so cute, so I kind of just stole it. But I like to do that for a lot of his family, and the different muzzle spots that characters have do mean things, at least in my design. Firestar, you'll see me go back and edit him throughout the entire time. His eyes, really quickly, his yellowish green eyes are based off of my real-life cat, who has very yellowish green eyes. And there's Firestar. Gray Stripe. The colors, I had a lot of issue with the colors. It took me a bit to get them all together. But Gray Stripe, I don't know if this is still a controversial take, but I remember when I used to say that I didn't like Gray Stripe, people would get kind of mad at me for it. I don't hate Gray Stripe, and I think there's characters that I dislike a lot more than Gray Stripe, but he's one of those characters where the books really want you to see him a certain way, and I just really don't see him that way, honestly. Like, I don't know if that's a controversial take, but with Gray Stripe, I try to make his stripe very defined. You can see me trying to make the stripe go down through the chest. I just settled on a little patch of fur at the end because I couldn't get it to work properly. I mean, his design's cute. You know, I don't hate Gray Stripe. He's just not, like, my favorite cat or anything. I think Gray Paw is a lot better. I liked Gray Paw. He was very fun as an apprentice. But as an adult, I feel like he's just, you know, I don't agree with his actions. And I feel like the books really want him to be this nice, good, loyal friend, but I don't know, he just doesn't really feel that way to me. Moving on to Ravenpaw. Ravenpaw was actually my favorite character when I initially read the series. And I still like him a good amount. He's fine. You know, I like to make him kind of like very dark gray with some browns on him and the little patches of white. I thought about giving him a little stripe down his head like a little skunk, but I ended up just putting a little nose spot. His chin design there I end up changing later because he was looking a bit too much like a spider leg for my liking. I debated giving him green eyes instead of purple eyes, but I felt that the purple eyes really helped, like, distinguish him from other characters. But yeah, Ravenpaw, he's got a fairly simple design. So I just put some finishing details on Ravenpaw, like his little teeth. I put some filters over them. My recommendation for filters is luminosity layer, really low opacity, but that actually didn't work that great for this one, so I had to mess with the filters a little bit. Moving on to Tigerstar. Tigerstar is admittedly a favorite of mine. I really like Tigerstar. Not as much as Hawkfrost, his son, but I don't know. I don't know what it is about him, but I really like Tigerstar. However, historically, he does give me a lot of trouble when designing, and you can see my Brambleclaw up in the corner there, but I don't know, something about him is just very difficult, and I think it's because I'm not great with stripes on designs. I'm very ornery about that, but I had fun with this one, and I actually like how it turned out. You actually see right here, this design, this marking of the little, like, paw with claws out extending, that's based on his minifigure, which I genuinely do like, and I like that when I put the star there, it's like the claw, you know, extending, reaching out for the star. I think it's kind of poetic for him. I like to put a little bit of this kind of dusty orange on him. I think it really, you know, helps him suit his name. My design is kind of inspired by one design that I really like. I'll put the person up on screen because I can't remember their name, but it's a little bit like Metal Gear Solid, so it gets very big props from me. But I like Tigerstar, I like Tiger Claw. I think he's a neat guy. I think, you know, very good starting villain for Warrior Cats. I don't really have much else to say, I just like the guy. Now on to Spottedleaf. Now, if you know me, you know that I love Spottedleaf. She is my favorite character, not just in Warrior Cats, but probably one of my all-time favorite characters ever. I asked my friends once if I got in a fight, what would they think it was about, and the unanimous vote was over Spottedleaf, because I just like her a lot, and I feel like a lot of the fandom view on her is based off of stuff that's not, like, factually correct. I've had people tell me things about her that just, like, never happened in the books at all, or just, like, a fandom invention, but I don't really want to get into all of that now. Someday I'll make a video about that, but this is the only design that I already had pre-planned and I didn't change anything about. I like her. One thing about her is that she's described as a tortoiseshell, and a lot of fan designs make her calico, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like calico Spottedleaf just fine, but tortoiseshells are actually my favorite type of cat. I wish people would draw them more. On to Bluestar. I don't have a ton of thoughts about Bluestar, honestly. I like her. I mean, she's not my favorite character by any means, but I think she's interesting, at the very least, which is, you know, better than I can say for some characters. But I do think that the fandom kind of forgives her for a lot of her acts, when, I don't know, I think she's like I think that she did stuff wrong, you know? Especially the stuff with Brightheart is not good. I try to make Bluestar look very tired. I remember when I was reading the first arc for the first time, I did not like her. I was very frustrated with her and how she acted for the latter half of the arc. I think she's interesting. I've actually been working on concepts for a PMV with her, which I'll put on screen, but, yeah, I don't know, I think she's fine. She's interesting, you know. I thought about putting little marks on her, but I ended up giving that to Tiger Claw and putting little dots on her. And she's the only character I used a gradient for. And then I put some filters on the other guys, and the rest of this is just me messing around with colors and backgrounds. And there's my finished designs for all these cats. If you'd like me to make more, please let me know. The person who made this template, who I'll put on screen, has made more of these, so I would be happy to do this again, and please consider leaving a like and a comment and maybe subscribing.